Hey friends, welcome to Thrive Within. This is the space where ambition meets alignment and success starts from the inside out. If you look successful on the outside, but you know there is more depth, purpose to your life, you are in the right place. Here, we talk about inner healing, identity, leadership, faith, finance, and wholeness, not just from a place of hustle, but from alignment with God. You'll find honest conversations, practical wisdom, and biblical insights and encouragement that helps you grow emotionally, spiritually, without burning out or losing yourself in the process. So, if you're ready to stop striving and start thriving from within, subscribe, join the family, stay connected, and let's grow together. If you're new here, you're welcome. And if you've been with us, thank you for growing alongside with us. Subscribe, stay connected, and let's continue thriving from within together. Today, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. So now let me ask you, have you ever felt like God went quiet right when you needed to hear him the most? Like there's no traction, there's no door, there's no visibility, just silence. Today I'm going to be showing you why silence might be the loudest place that God is positioning you. And we're going to be learning from Esther's story, and we'll be seeing how a season of silence was actually God's blueprint. Because what looked like hiding was actually preparation. Make sure you stay till the end because I'm going to be showing you one move that turns silence into strategy. Some of you might call this delay, but this is development because your roots actually grow in places where people cannot clap for you. Your roots are growing deep down, and people cannot see the development that is going down within your roots. Let's look at Esther's story. Esther did not just step into queenship or purpose instantly. Before the crown, a series of preparation. There was a long process. She was taken into a season where she was not seen publicly. Remember, she had one whole year of preparation, but she was being refined in that process. And this can be the same for you as well. Maybe some things are going on in your life right now, and it just feels like God is silent, everything looks stalled, even when you then need to hear God's voice. This is what most people miss, your hidden season. Your hidden season is not the absence of God's view. It's not the absence of light. It's not the absence of God's presence. It's actually a training ground where God sets you up for what's coming next. Now, I want us to look at some signs that you have to go through when you are in a season of, otherwise, I would say, hiding. The first thing you want to notice is that God will reduce the noise around. The noise from your life, the noise in your life would actually come hidden. You won't even enjoy certain conversations anymore. When you begin to notice that you do not enjoy certain conversations anymore, and you begin to feel pulled back, this is not a season of loneliness. It's a sign that God is separating you from what you're used to. God is separating you from what's coming next. And God is separating you for preparation. Another thing to watch out for is that your appetite begins to change. There comes in a life and a season when what used to excite you will no longer excite you. Think about it. There was a time, if you can remember, when it will be this brand of clothes that would excite you, or going to this place that would tickle you, or just a kind of hair. But when you begin to look deep into yourself and you realize that you're beginning to change the things that impress you before, and the things that used to excite you no longer excite you. Now you begin to crave for depth. Now you're looking for clarity. Now you're beginning to become more disciplined without any title to it, without even waiting for human approval, then you know that you are being refined for what's coming next. The third sign that I want you to watch is you being refined in your identity. This is a big, big part because at this point, you begin to learn who you are without waiting for someone's applause. You don't wait for anybody's validation. You don't wait for a relationship to validate who you are. You don't wait for a title to validate who you are. You don't even wait for some of the roles that you carry on. You see yourself in the way God has made you. Many a times, this is the biggest shift. When your identity comes to points where it's been refined, just know that you are in that place where God is stepping you up for the next big thing. These are some of the things that God begins to do in your life when He's getting you ready for what's coming next. Now, there are certain mistakes that people would make when they begin to sense these things, it's important to hear God. It's important to understand His timing as well. When you get a sense that God is preparing you for the next thing that is coming, do not force first your visibility. I know that this is tempting, but there is the temptation of sensing that God has taken me or God is taking me through this season to prepare me for what's coming next. Let me begin to put myself out there to become visible. By the time you begin to force yourself to, you want to prove more to people for what God has put in your life. My goodness, you're beginning to force visibility. So I want to encourage you when you are in a season of preparation, please resist the urge to overexplain yourself. Resist the urge to chase certain places, certain rooms. Resist the urge to chase those places. You know why? Because God is actually preparing you for those places. And if you would wait for His timing, you would eventually enter into those rooms. Esther didn't run around announcing herself. Esther didn't go about turning around in front of the king. What she did was to simply prepare. It took her months and even up to a year to get prepared. But guess what? When she was ready and done with preparation, everything aligned. And before we knew what was happening, she became the king's wife. Mistake number two, please resist the urge to run back to what seems familiar. Resist going back to the old comfort. This is a big one. I know that it's hard to leave a place that you're familiar with, but one of the things that can ruin the next thing that God wants to do with you and do with your life is running back to old comfort, running back to what seems familiar, old habits, old people, old relationships. God is removing you from those situationships. God is separating those things away from your life. So why go back to what God is trying to deliver you from? God is taking you away from those places for a single reason, to position you for the next thing that is coming in your life. Because the hidden season of your life may seem unfamiliar to you. You might even feel uncomfortable. There is always a tendency for us to want to go back to what seems familiar to us. But guess what? In the unfamiliar is what lies transformation. In the unfamiliar is where lies the next level. So I want to beg you, resist running back to the old comfort. Number three, I want us to learn from Esther's move. Here is what Esther did. When it was time, she did not just hope. She moved with wisdom, courage, and with timing. When it was time for her to launch into the mandate that God had given her for her people, the children of Israel, guess what she did? She fasted, she sought the Lord, and then she showed up. Many a times we always want to be in the next level. We want to be in the next season. But what are you doing with the preparation season that God has given to you? Learning from Esther, one of the things that she did was to prepare. She had to fast. She had to pray. She had to seek the face of God for clarity. When the time was up, she moved with courage in the correct timing. And when she put all of these steps in its order, guess what? God showed up. She was able to enter into the king's court, and the king held out his golden scepter unto her, and even telling her to ask up to half of his kingdom. That's what I call favor. So if you're in this season of being hidden, I want you to create an action plan for yourself. Write out whatever you think and sense that God is pruning. And this will come in form of the things that you suddenly begin to lose interest in. Now, with all those things written out, I want you to choose one discipline at a time. Be it prayer, you could start praying about it, you could start studying the scriptures about it, and just commit to it for 7 days. Now, position yourself. This will be the third step. Apply to that thing. If you need to make a decision, make that decision. Take that bold step. If you need to enroll yourself in a program or in a business or in anything, just choose that. Show up to what God has called you to and see how God is going to step into your favor. If you're navigating a healing season and you need structure, you need step by step hand holding, you need a blueprint, feel free to download the Hidden Season Blueprint via the link in the description below. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this encouraged you, I want to invite you to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear this. Until next time, stay aligned, stay rooted, and keep thriving from within.